Hey guys, huge update is being launched tomorrow morning with seller storefront search and browser search coming to the web app. Stay tuned to check it out. Once we launch the update, you'll see competing seller and browser search as new search options in this new scan window. These have by far been the most requested feature updates from our Windows application that we're happy to add to the web app. But not only did we add them, we vastly improved them, and I'll show you how. I'm going to start with demonstrating competing seller. When you click on this option, you get a very simple window to enter a seller ID and an option to use deep scan if you're a pro user. I'm going to get into that a little bit later. The question is, how do you get a seller ID and how does this feature work? And I'm going to demonstrate that. First thing we want to do is go to an Amazon page and go to any product. This is part of product research. You're possibly competing or selling in this space already. Maybe you already have ceiling fans. Maybe you're interested in selling ceiling fans, but this is a random place I ended up. And I'm going to scroll down here so I could see all of the sellers on this particular listing. I'm going to pick the Shack group just very randomly. And I'm going to go to their storefront. The goal is to get to the seller storefront so that you can obtain their seller ID. So what this feature will do is it will allow me to pull all of the products that the Shack group sells into the web application in order for me to analyze their products and decide if I want to jump on some of these listings. This is a very, very easy way to source products on Amazon. Instead of doing all of the hard work yourself, you can simply see what other successful sellers have found and then join some of their listings. So the first thing we'll do is select their seller ID. The seller ID is this set of numbers and digits right here. Be careful not to select the marketplace ID here. I'm going to copy that and then go back to the web application, and I'm going to paste this in here. Now, before I get started, I'm going to explain what deep scan means. A traditional scan, a regular scan that's not a deep scan, is going to be limited to Amazon pagination. Now, what that means is how many products Amazon actually displays on their page is the amount of products that the app will be able to scrape in. So in this situation, we see that this page is displaying 16 products, and we have 84 pages. And you could look down here, you could see 84 pages. So if we have 16 products per page roughly for 84 pages, we should have roughly 1,300 results. On bigger storefronts where you may see 5 or 10 or 50,000 results up here, you will not see all of those products on the Amazon page. It will actually only show you, I think, up to 2,500 or so products. So where deep scan becomes very useful is if you have a larger list that's beyond 2,500 or so, the only way to pull in all of those hidden products is to use this very useful deep scan feature, which will pull in up to 100,000 results for any seller's storefront. We're not going to use that for this example because it does take a little bit longer for the deep scan, and we don't recommend using it unless the storefront you're searching has more than around 2,500 results. I'm going to go ahead and click process. Once I click process, you'll see that search by seller, there's a search by seller list that has started. Now it could take about 20 to 30 seconds for the list to initialize before you start seeing products begin to be returned. As you can see, the process has started. One other thing to note is that the naming convention has changed. We now no longer include this US or market prefix on our file names in an effort to clean up the file names a little bit, because we already show you that this is a US file with this logo right here. So as you can see, this is a new one that we started to scan, and it no longer includes the prefix. We can't modify older lists, so this will only apply to new lists going forward. As you can see, we're making good progress. We skipped ahead a little bit here, and it looks like we're almost done with our list. It may take a little bit longer at the very end to finish a list, and that's because it's going through a process to make sure that it's getting everything. While it's finishing up, I'm going to show you another feature that we've added that will be super useful. If you right-click on the file names in either the favorites or in the recent lists, you now have the option to copy and rename. Copy becomes super useful in the browser search because, as you can see, we had a browser search down here. There's a long URL. If I want to go back and see what URL I scraped with browser search, I could simply go to copy, file name is copied, and then I could launch a browser, go in here and paste, Control V, and I can get back to that list so I can reference it. Rename is pretty self-explanatory. I can go in here and actually rename this file to whatever file I want, testing rename. See, testing rename. I could do the same thing in my favorites list. And it quickly changes the name. That could be very useful, especially in favorites, to name your lists whatever you want and rename them as you please. While this is finishing up, I'm going to go ahead and click into this so that you can see exactly what's going on. So we're going to open this list, and we're actually in a development environment here. So this is going to run quite a bit faster in the live environment. So as you can see, we open the list and we've scraped in all of the products that this particular seller is selling on. I'm going to select one at random here, and I'm going to go down here and see, as you could, Shack Group is the seller we scraped. You could see that Shack Group is in here. This is one of their products. We have all of their products now in the list. Now at this point, I'm not going to get too far into how to analyze the products. We have other videos for that, but you could simply apply your filters like you would typically do, and find products that you think would be potential winners for you to go after. I'm going to show you how that works very, very briefly. Let's say I'm looking at the seller's products and I'm interested in products that sell greater than or equal to 100 products sold per month. So I could very quickly get down to the really fast movers on the seller's storefront. Now I want to see if any of these are being sold by Amazon, because I really don't want to compete with Amazon. So I'm going to get that process started. This feature is only available on the Web App Pro. Then I may want to go over here and make sure that none of these are super heavy, as I could see that there's one that's 28 pounds. I typically don't want to deal with really heavy products, so I'm going to say, there we go. I'm going to say less than 20 pounds, and it's going to filter that product out. I could also go in here and filter by total offers. I may not want to jump on an offer that has too many offers or too few offers, and there are other videos that explain why. But in this case, I don't see any major issues. It looks like it's each of these listings has offers on it, and it's very low competition on FBA offers. So now I'm going to go back here, and my Amazon seller and reviews have now been processed. I could see that 3 of these listings are actually being sold by Amazon. I could confirm that by going into the Keep It chart here to see how long Amazon has been selling on these. These are not listings that I want to jump on because I don't like to compete with Amazon personally. And then I could see the one listing that Amazon is not on that meets my criteria. Amazon stopped selling on this product back in June. So that's one that I may want to potentially explore. So it's just that simple, guys. We took 1,300 products from a seller storefront and narrowed it down based on filter criteria to a product that I could now research further to see if this is a product that I want to sell. I could see that the brand is Lutron. And if I was to take this further, I would simply Google the brand, in this case, Lutron Electronics. And then I would go in here and I would find their contact information. I would see where I could buy. I would contact them and try to open a wholesale account. There's a lot of videos out there on how to source products this way, and the tool now allows you to do that. Now we're going to look at the next major feature, which is browser search. Browser search allows you to take any Amazon URL for a product page, paste it into here, and import the products from Amazon directly into the app for analysis. We also have the deep scan feature here. So this deep scan feature is very helpful with browser search, since the catalog is much bigger usually with browser search than with seller search. And without deep scan, you're really limited, and you can get up to 100,000 results with the deep scan. The deep scan is only available on the Web App Pro account type. So if you don't have Pro, I would highly recommend you to check it out. It's a very valuable feature. So let's go through this, and I'm going to demonstrate how this works. I'm going to open an Amazon page. This is the one we looked at previously, but let's go back to the beginning. What you're essentially doing here is you're digging through Amazon's web page, right on their own web page, to narrow down a category that you want to explore further and you want to analyze. The idea is that you want to get into a pretty deep subcategory. You wouldn't want to scan something that has millions of products. You want to get down into the niches, and you can do that various ways on their website. You could search in the search box. You could select categories here. You can search by category here as well. We're going to do that. We're going to go to randomly. I'm going to select some stuff. We're going to go to pet supplies, dog supplies, which gets us to a page like this. You can see by scrolling down to the products that there's over 70,000 featured results. If you change this little filter, you could actually see there's way more than 70,000. There's over 100,000. 100,000 is the highest that Amazon will display here. This is way too broad. This may have 500,000 results or more. It just won't tell you. It'll just say over 100,000. So we want to keep narrowing this down. One cool thing is I could apply filters on Amazon, and it's sort of like double filtering. So you could filter on Amazon, and then once you pull the products in, you could filter again using the application. So I'm going to filter for 4 stars and up. We're down to 80,000. And then I'm going to go to cameras and monitors. Okay, so there's only 46 results here. There we go. So I cleared the star filter, and we're at 377 results. So we can easily pull the data in, pull this 377 into the program by copying this URL, Control-C to copy, and we're just going to paste that right in here. We're not going to use deep scan on this because it's under 2,500 products, but I'm going to show you after we scan this how there are hidden products in this category group, that there's actually more than 377 here, and the only way to pull those out is through a deep scan. But I'm going to do a regular scan first just to show you how that works. All right, now we're all done processing now. We have 395 products. That's actually more than what you can see in Amazon. Amazon has 377 shown here. Amazon is very strange in how they display products on the web page. I may see 377 from Houston, Texas. You may be in New York. You may see a different number. So the app actually tries to get as many products as possible, even more than what you can see in your local region through your browser. So in this case, we did pull more. Now I'm going to show you an example of the deep scan. So for a deep scan, you're generally looking for categories that have a little bit more than 377. So, and to demonstrate that, I'm going to try to find that. So I went back to dogs. 100,000 is a bit much. How about, I'm going to just click around here. Toys should have a lot. So we have over 50,000 here in toys. Prime, I'm just selecting random filters to demonstrate. Okay, so we've got over 10,000 results here. Let's use this one. I'm going to select this URL, and I'm going to run 2 scans. The first one is a deep scan. I'm going to click that, and I'm going to get that process started. And then I'm also going to queue the same URL without using the deep scan. And I'm doing that so you'll be able to see the difference in results between a deep scan and a regular scan for a page that has more than 1,000 or 2,000 results. And once this is done, we'll be back. All right, we're done with both processes. We have the deep scan with 10,555 results and the regular scan with 9,543. As you can see, the deep scan has a DS right here. That's how you differentiate a deep scan. The deep scan resulted in over 1,000 extra products over a regular scan. That's a pretty big deal because that's 1,000 products that you literally can't see if you go to Amazon.com and try to count these up on the URL. Like if you just went in here and literally just counted all of these products, you wouldn't find them all. You would find 9,543. So that's 10,000. That's 1,000 extra products that your competing sellers are not seeing. And that's an edge that you have by using Analyzer.Tools. Other apps are not picking up these products. I've seen scenarios where a deep scan picks up tens of thousands of extra products over a regular scan. The bigger the scan, typically the bigger the advantages for a deep scan. That's why we don't really recommend using a deep scan for a small list. So I'm not getting into the analysis of these lists too much. We already did that with the seller search, and the concept is similar. But clearly, you could apply all sorts of sourcing techniques using these tools. Certainly, reverse sourcing techniques of all kinds can be used with these tools. Leaf sourcing strategies. I like to go after brands specifically. And you could easily do that with the browser tool. You could just literally go to the brand page and just scrape all of the brand's products in and analyze them, and then contact the brand. So lots and lots of opportunity here to digest. I can't wait to hear from you guys and hope you guys like this massive new update. Good luck with using it. Please let us know how you like it. You could reach me directly at alexk@Analyzer.Tools or support@Analyzer.Tools. We're also on Facebook and Twitter. for our social media channels, please give us a shout out and follow us and share our page. It really helps a lot and means a lot to us and shows us you appreciate using the tool. Hope you guys enjoy it. Take care.